Your Prime Sports now with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullahi. The Ghana Football Association has appointed former Black Satellite coach Desmond Ofer to be the new head coach of the national under-23 men's team, the Black Meteors. The GFA, according to them, is to ensure that the right leadership or technical leadership is provided for the Black Meteors. Ofer, who is currently the assistant coach of the Black Stars, replaces Kasim Mingle, who has been named as the Black Galaxies boss. He will be assisted by Yao Preko and Baba Nuhu Malam as assistant coaches. The Black Meteors technical team also includes Muntari Tego, a former goalkeeper of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, and Midiama FC, who will serve as goalkeepers coach. Ediana Stars welfare officer Ataye Boa takes up the role of team manager, while Henry Batplang will serve as a team mazer, and Baba Aluta of Ediana Stars also serving as the equipment officer. Eli Vogbe has been named as the video analyst, adding modern technical support to the setup. We take you to the camp of the National Sports Authority, where its Director General, Yao Ampofo Ankra, has clarified that the pitch of the Baba Yara Sports Stadium will not be used for this year's Rapperholic concert. The annual music festival, headlined by award-winning rapper Sarkodie, is scheduled to take place at the stadium this weekend. However, concerns were raised over the potential use of the main playing surface for the show. Speaking to my colleague Victor Achuta Makolo, Mr. Ampofo Ankra stressed that Sarkodie's event won't affect the pitch.
It's a challenge that I've come to meet, and when you investigate, when you look at it, our first meeting, I remember, in this very office where we discussed the issue of protecting, the jewel in the crown, and every stadium, the jewel in the crown would be your pitch. Your pitch, actually, the state of your pitch tells you how you have been looking after the facility, because the pitch needs a lot of maintenance. It's not just watering, it's not just fertilizer, it goes deeper than that. And we've agreed that henceforth, no event other than football should have the full usage of our pitches, that is the grass. Now, the reality is that beyond football, the NSA must also find means to pay bills, electricity, maintenance, you name it. Beyond the infrastructure, there are a lot of responsibilities that the NSA has, and we have the rights to use our facilities to invest and to reap from that investment to take care of the relevant and necessary works that must be done. But I have said that we must protect our pitches, and if you would be kind enough and honest enough, you would say that since this administration took over the last 6 months, every single pitch that we've come to meet is in a better state than it was. You might say, well, it's only a pitch. No, it's not only a pitch. If it was only a pitch, we wouldn't have had these challenges in the past. The green grass technology, the KNUST, Department of Horticulture. We'll come to those ones
in a bit, because they are all helping us in the process.
Yes. And
they are part of my questions on pitch maintenance.
So I need to explain that even though we don't have pitch covers that you have in South Africa, I don't need to go to Europe. North Africa, Egypt, Morocco, they have them. We don't have any in Ghana. There were pitch covers in Ivory Coast, which the state invested in for the AFCON, the last AFCON that we had. We've not done that yet, but I've made it very clear to my minister and stakeholders that we do need at least one mid-grade pitch cover, which is about $500,000. You have the automated ones, so you're looking at the ranges, the quality, pitch covers that you can actually drive trucks over and it would not, you know, break. Those are the high-end ones.
Right.
We don't have any in Ghana.
So for this specific one, is the pitch going to be used?
No, the pitch will not be used. That is the instruction.
So the setup will not be on the pitch?
That is the clear instruction that I have given, that the pitch must not be touched. And it applies to the Accra Sports Stadium. And I'm sure when we had the President's Cup, you were here, you realized that the pitch was only barely used for ceremonial march, you know, by the Navy Band. The performance by Shatawale was done outside beyond the goalpost.
Beyond the goalpost.
What
about the tartan tracks, though?
In Babayara, they will be protected. And again, instructions have been given that we must protect all these facets that provide services, because the cost of repair, you know, would do more damage. It's not even about money, but the image. We've had it in the past and we don't want it to be repeated.
Right.
Quite interesting that after 6-7 years, Ghana is here to get pitch covers for the maintenance of our various stadia in the country. Now let's do some boxing. The Ghana Boxing Authority says that it will not accept responsibility for the death of boxer Ernest Akushey, who passed away on Monday. Acting President Roger Bano told Joy Sports that while the authority cannot be held accountable for the unfortunate incident, which is the second time that a boxer has died in about 6 months, it remains committed to ensuring such tragedies do not happen again.
After the Nigerian boxer incident, that's Oluwadun incident, there were a whole lot of reshapes in the medical aspect. And taking office after the resignation of our former president, Abraham Kote-Enikwe, I made sure every boxer that comes into the ring goes through the required medicals. If you have not done so, you wouldn't be allowed to box. So I can say on authority that Baobali, and not only Baobali, but all boxers that fought on that bill had the required medicals before. And then before, at least, we gave them 3 days. Everyone should have his medicals ready. And that was done. And then on the day of the weigh-in, whatever the normal checks that was done was also done. And right after the fight, what I have put in place is after a fight, the doctor will be with you, or you'll be at the arena. The doctor will be examining you. Then after 30 minutes, if nothing happens, then you leave. And that was done to all the bosses that fought on the night of CEM promotions.
And you can confirm that Baobali also went through these new protocols, which was to wait a minimum of 30 minutes after the bout and get checked before leaving the arena.
Yes, every bosser on that night, including Baobali, went through that. So I can tell you on authority, he did it.
Do you, by chance, know of any previous situations, health-wise, that, you know, he was contending with or dealing with? Any previous history? Do you have any such information about him? Or has the medical team revealed any such in previous assignments to the board?
No, nothing of that sort had been said. And nothing of that sort has been discussed, and nothing of that had happened. I can tell you on authority. We have no history barring Baobali from fighting. No, there is nothing of that sort. Wherever you hear that kind of news, is fake.
Very well, very well.
Yeah. I would like again to say very sorry to the family. It's a learning curve and a wake-up call for us all. That shows that once after a boxing fight, what you have to do is take care of yourself. You need some days of rest before doing some things. Like we all know, in a boxing fight, once a fight is over, you sign a contract to fight. Once the fight is over and then you go home, you have got nothing to do with the promoter. If something happens, the GBA or the commission or the sanctioning bodies has no right, has no hand in anything that happens. Because once the fight is over, it's over. You need to check on yourself. Whatever you feel or however you feel, you need to take care of that. And based on this, together with the medical team of the Ghana Boxing Authority, we are putting up a structure that just after fights, probably the next few days, you will be asked to come to the hospital or the medical department, and it'll be taking care of you, because this is a wake-up call and then a learning curve for us all. So from now on, that is what we have decided to do as a commission or as an authority.
We'll take a quick break now. When we come back, we've got some more to serve you here on Prime Sports. We're back from the break. This is Prime Sports. We'll take you to Germany now, where we're talking about the Bundesliga. And then it's just a wrap of what to expect coming this weekend. Excited to see Daniel Barcelona once again as she joins us from our partner station, DWTV in Berlin. It is match day 5, and Borussia Dortmund, they will come up against Mainz. Daniel, tell us, can Borussia Dortmund continue their unbeaten run as they've had so far in the Bundesliga?
Yeah, so in match day 5, Dortmund definitely take their unbeaten run in the Bundesliga to Mainz. Of course, Dortmund 10 points from 4 matches, undefeated, as I said. Now, this away match is kind of like a banana peel match because in theory, it should be an easier test for Dortmund, but Mainz is actually a pretty tricky team to play against. They're coming off a strong performance, getting their first Bundesliga win in the last match day, thrashing Augsburg 4-1 with 10 players. So they have shown that they can score goals. Now, they have conceded in most of their games, but they actually don't concede very much. So Dortmund will definitely have the opportunity and the spaces to use their dangerous attack, but they're going to have to be clinical because, like I said, Mainz, they don't concede that much, and they actually do like to attack. Now, we've talked about Serhou Guirassy and how crucial he's been for Dortmund this season. Of course, he's going to be looking to get back on the score sheet after being held against Wolfsburg. Also, players like Karim Adeyemi, we've really seen him really performing very well. He brings a different aspect to the game than Guirassy, for example. He's very direct. He's very fast. So he can also add that attacking threat for Dortmund in this one. Mainz, of course, it will not be easy. They'll be coming off of a high. And Dortmund also have to think that after match day 5, they have to go play in Champions League. So it will definitely be an interesting matchup to watch.
This clearly suggests that Borussia Dortmund's unbeaten run might just be under threat. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich, they will also come up against struggling Werder Bremen. Can Vincent Kompany and his boys expect to do something similar, or he will have one eye on the UEFA Champions League matches, maybe probably resting some players in anticipation of the midweek Champions League matches?
Yeah, so we've talked about how difficult it is for teams to play in multiple competitions throughout the season. Of course, resting players and squad rotation is actually pretty important if teams have the depth and the capacity to be able to do that. And Bayern is one of those teams, luckily, that have been able to rotate their squad a little bit and rest some players. Now, Bayern, of course, they've scored 18 goals so far. They're 100% on the season. And when you win matches by a few goals, it gives a coach a chance to get some other players in. Now, Vincent Kompany, Bayern's coach, had shown that he made 5 changes to Bayern's starting lineup for the game against Hoffenheim. Of course, that kind of came into question because you could tell when they did start the game that the subs were not exactly at the same level as Bayern's starting 11, but they still did manage to get a win. Now, Kompany said, he doesn't really like to have this conversation because it's important to use every player in your squad, and also the fact that these players can get some minutes, it gives them the confidence, it gets them used to working together. So it is very critical. Now, they do face Werder Bremen in matchday 5, which is pretty favorable for Bayern. Of course, Bremen has been struggling so far this season. They've conceded 10 goals so far. So, of course, Bayern's attack will have plenty of opportunities to score goals. And if they do, we can expect them to rest players, give some players a little bit of minutes that haven't gotten so many, and take some minutes away from some players who are going to need to rest up going into their midweek Champions League clash. That is
very true. And the results of what company would witness will determine the kind of decisions that will happen going into the midweek UEFA Champions League matches. Daniel, thanks very much for your time. Hoping to see you after the UEFA Champions League matches that will be played in midweek. And that is how we wrap up Prime Sports here with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah. Head on to myjoyonline.com and read some more sports stories. Up next is PM Express Business Edition.